One of the hikers that came upon the burnt-out truck posted this comment on social media on November 23, 2019. Quote, "Had a crazy experience this weekend trying to get to the Brian Waddington hut. We took the 4x4 trail all the way to the trailhead, and when we arrived, we came onto quite the scene. There was a burnt-out pickup truck that smelt very fresh. In addition, there were possessions thrown all over the area, including 2 passports, 3 smashed cell phones, a smashed laptop, ID cards, toiletry bags, and clothing. It felt like a crime scene, and I had a very eerie feeling. We turned around and left, deciding not to hike to the hut with the fear of walking into something. We called the police and reported it." End quote. One of the mysteries of Marshall's disappearance is the lack of CCTV footage of him or his truck between Lethbridge and Pemberton. By the time he was reported missing, the surveillance footage from the storage facility unit was unavailable. The lack of usual evidence, along with Marshall's financial records, which indicated that he never filled up his truck with gas along the route or made any transactions anywhere, begs the question about whether or not Marshall drove his truck there at all. Also, more questions about Marshall's disappearance are brought up when it comes to the discrepancy between the original hiker photos of the scene and the photos taken 2 days later by the police. The images clearly highlight the missing, moved, or damaged items. In one image, it looks as if the phones and other items were neatly placed beside each other on the ground. His family also say that not all of the items at the scene belong to Marshall. The family believes that someone returned to the scene during the 2 days between the hiker's discovery and the police's arrival. The police preserved the items, but haven't tested them for DNA. The Lethbridge police stated that the evidence cannot be tested by the RCMP crime lab unless officers have reasons to believe a DNA-designated crime has been committed. At this time, no such evidence or grounds exist. Paige Fogan, Marshall's sister, stated, quote, "I think the biggest thing I would want to clear up is this. This case needs to be pushed into criminal. It needs to be investigated as criminal." Unquote. Paige Fogan also stated, quote, "It's so easy for these cases to get swept under the rug and to just get overlooked or passed off as self-harm, suicide, or getting lost. It's so easy for that to happen. And you know, there needs to be like some kind of systematic changes happening to how missing person cases are handled." Unquote. The strange connection between these two cases comes in the form of a statement made by Squamish resident Michael Frederick Marlowe. He was an acquaintance of Daniel Reoch. Michael has spoken with the police and was recorded by them. The statement that is available on social media made by Michael goes as follows. "I wonder why the route to Vancouver Highway 1 is not one of the projected routes taken. Only 3 routes were mentioned. During the last couple weeks of November 2019 in Squamish at the Irish pub, My Watering Hole, there were 2 guys. One seemed strange. I picked up bad vibes. The other looked like Marshall. They sat in the pickup truck, similar to Marshall's, with Alberta plates for a couple of hours. Another local fellow, also missing from that time frame, Daniel, was seen with them. He has not been found either. The Irish place has since been closed, but I wonder if video footage is still available from the bank machine that was inside the bar. I remember a fellow who seemed distressed as he tried to use the machine. He never got any money and went back to sit in the pickup in the parking lot with the shady guy. Daniel left his guitar behind the bar with the bartender. 2 days later, the RCMP come in and asked questions, as well as picked up the guitar. I only slightly knew Daniel because he is a local, but he did say to me, 'That guy is weird. I think he is going to kill us.' I just kind of laughed it off as we sat outside having a cigarette. A couple of days later, his car, Daniel's, was found in Chikai, idling with the driver's door ajar. If the 2 young guys were killed, their bodies are probably between Chikai and Pemberton, where Marshall's truck was found burnt. That Irish pub was situated in the Sea to Sky Hotel in Squamish, British Columbia. Michael Frederick Marlowe also says that he was interviewed by Corporal Michael Hamilton of the Pemberton Detachment RCMP. He was also asked some further questions on social media about whether or not the RCMP took his testimony seriously, and Michael went on to state, "Yes, he took me seriously. I seen the 3 guys together the day before Daniel was in custody. I'm guessing I seen them on Sunday, November 24th or Monday the 25th. Marshall's truck was found on the 27th, I believe. It all ties together, especially since the red cooler in the photo was from the vicinity Daniel last resided." He was asked another question about which one of the men kept trying to use the bank machine at the pub, to which he replied, "It was Marshall trying to use the bank machine. He tried 3 or 4 times without success. He seemed a bit troubled, and I literally thought about asking him if he was okay. His truck was parked in the parking lot of the bar, and the shady dude was in the driver's seat. It seems to me now that he must have had some power over Marshall to keep him in tow. They sat in the truck for a couple of hours. Daniel and I went outside for a cigarette, and we were just small talking. But just as I was finishing my smoke, Daniel said, "That guy is going to kill us." It was just too heavy for me, and it seemed out to lunch. So I just brushed it off as nonsense. He was asked further questions, but no reply was given. Paige, Marshall's sister, stated this on social media on July 5th, 2020. "We just wanted to let everyone know that our family is currently in Pemberton, BC at the site of Marshall's truck. The day after I was done quarantine, we headed out here as a family to see the truck. The journey just getting here was extremely long and far from ideal. Normally the drive from Lethbridge to Pemberton is about 13 hours. Unfortunately, due to unforeseen road closures caused by flooding, it took us 32 hours to get here. However, it was worth it. This experience has confirmed what we have been feeling the entire time, that we do not believe Marshall was ever at this site. We studied the map so many times, knew exactly where we were going, and we still got lost at first, trying to find the truck site. Once we found the right road, we couldn't believe how overgrown, small, and difficult it was. We don't believe that he ever would have taken his vehicle up here by choice. We agree with many of you, that those familiar with the area, that this isn't a place where someone just ends up. Someone knew where they were going with Marshall's truck. To me, this feels like the end of wondering if Marsh was ever up on the mountain with his truck. It is now time for us to push for concrete evidence of what happened to Marshall after he was last confirmed in Lethbridge, and get answers as to what happened to him. I feel like this terrible experience has shown me the amount of caring and support that is out there, and I am truly grateful for it. If you have any information about Marshall's whereabouts, his disappearance, or have any video footage from November 2019, please contact the Lethbridge Police at 403-328-4444 or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-8477, case number 190-30078. If you have any information as to the whereabouts of Daniel Reoch, please contact the Squamish RCMP at 604-892-6100 or Crime Stoppers at 1-800-222-8477 to remain anonymous. The information about Marshal Iwaasa was obtained from the website canadaunsolved.com/cases/Marshal-Iwaasa and the Find Marshal Iwaasa Facebook page. And information about Daniel Reoch was obtained from the Daniel Reoch Missing Facebook page and various articles from the Squamish Chief news site.